Make sure you have a purpose in life. A purpose will definitely get you over your breakup. What do you want to do in life? What makes you happy? But not only what makes you happy also has to have potential of bringing you finances and a future career. And yeah, we're going to go into the important stuff now. I'm going to put down the joint and get serious with you guys. So we're going to talk about breakups, right? And I'm hoping that a lot of the guys who were messaging me, because a lot of you guys have been messaging me on Instagram, going through a lot of breakups, just went through a breakup, not happy with their women, not navigating well in the dating market, not understanding women. Even I posted up today a guy called Fred, messaging me in my DMs like, oh, bro, you see women as a toy and, we have equal life experiences as humans and all of that. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're just a little libtard. You're a young kid. You don't know shit about life and you really don't understand women. Now, do I turn around when women want to date a guy who's strong and tall and a provider? Do we sit there and say, well, he's not a fucking bank account. He's not a private security guard. Don't treat him as an object. No, we just understand that's just a man's role. But as soon as I say standards and boundaries on a woman's a toy. And you have white knights like this fucking Fred guy, who's obviously a simp, who doesn't understand women, probably doesn't even get much pussy, come out and try back women. So, it's not about, I'm not going against women. I'm just calling out the fuckery with women and the truths of how they think and how they navigate in dating. So, for everyone watching, why did she break up with you? That's what we've got to start off first with, right? Before we even go to how to bounce back from a breakup and how to choose women in the future and get into the best version of yourself, first you guys need to understand, why did she break up with you? Why did she end the relationship? And listen, no one's safe. I've only been in one relationship in my life and my ex broke up with me. However, it wasn't really kind of like that dynamic because, she was very quick to come back and I kind of didn't really accept it fully after that. So it kind of bit her in the arse. But my point is, even in my personal anecdotal experience, I got broken up with. And, I like to think apart from height, I have pretty much everything that a man needs. However, it happened to me, and I'm going to explain to you guys why it happened to me, why it happens to men, how to avoid it, and how women think in general. So, a lot of times is that you're slacking, right? You also got to take accountability. We can't just blame women for everything. A lot of times you're not the same man that she met. You're not as exciting. You're not planning dates. You're not keeping her on her toes. You're not giving her that dominant sex. You're not teaching her nothing. You're not as funny as you used to be. A lot of times the man slacks and becomes comfortable. And a lot of times it comes from the woman. Women can make us comfortable. And that's why you need to avoid that. Don't follow your woman. Make sure you're the leader. Have frame, you plan dates, everything's on your own terms, and I guarantee you, in the long run, she's gonna find you more desirable and stay with you rather than breaking up. So that's the first thing, right? Women need to be emotionally stimulated. So us guys, we're pretty simple creatures. As long as you're fucking me well, sucking my dick well, giving me a clean home, a great environment. Nice meal every day, a little bit of creativeness when it comes to the food, little massage here and there. I'm a fucking happy man. I'm so happy that I'll go and make money for you every single day, bring it back to our family, and I don't need you to make a penny. As long as you are an asset and not a liability in the relationship. Now, a lot of times we put women on pedestals. That's another reason why women fall out of love or lose respect for men, or even from the get-go. A lot of times you see guys call women beautiful from the start. Oh, you're amazing. Oh, you're so unique, telling a woman all these things. These things are going to go against you guys. And let me explain to you guys why. Women are very mental creatures. And if a woman ever thinks that she's above you and, basically you like her more than she likes you, you're pretty much fucking cooked, bro. Your woman has to like you more than you like her. It doesn't work the other way around. When we love and admire women, We don't get bored and think, oh yeah, she's beneath us, so I'm going to leave her. But that's exactly how women think. If a woman thinks that you can't lead her to greatness and she's better than you, she's better looking than you, she can do better than you on the dating market, yeah, it's going to be soon to be the end. That's the truth. So never put her on a pedestal. That doesn't mean you don't call her beautiful. That doesn't mean you don't buy her flowers. That doesn't mean you don't take her on cool dates. But she has to earn that, right? And it has to come in the long run. You can't just give that up front from the very get-go. If you give it from the get-go, what's she even going to look forward to in the future? And as well, you're putting yourself beneath her. So plan cool dates, as she shows her worth to you more and more, yeah, invest more into the dates, more time and energy and more finances. Buy her flowers from time to time or whatever you want to do, a little gift and call her beautiful and give her compliments here and there. But you also got to keep your woman on her toes. Good to have banter with her. Diss her from time to time. Even if it's in a serious way, I don't mean diss her as in put her down, but, call her out on her bullshit. If there's something you don't like and you see that you don't like, instead of just putting it to the back and thinking, nah, you know what, I'm not going to start an argument right now. Just tell her in a way where you communicate well, assertively, but upfront. So another reason is she wants a better option. She thinks, like we said, she thinks she can do better on the date market. And a lot of times is she's found someone. And you guys are thinking, what? She's cheating on me? Well, guys, women are different, right? What women do is a lot of times women who are in relationships with men that they don't respect, they might post up promiscuous pictures. They'll never post you up on their Instagram. No one from the outside will ever know that she's got a boyfriend. So she keeps her options open while still having you entertain her and having her in a relationship. And a lot of times she might be getting attention from guys who are better than you. Maybe they're better looking, they have more money than you, better shape than you, more knowledgeable than you. And, she might not want to be harsh to you up front. So, she just keeps that open. Maybe she gets compliments and likes that compliment from that guy. Maybe she drops a few compliments from time to time, So guys, a lot of times women have so you guys understand, women have way more options than men. Your average woman gets hit up every single day, whether it's on the street or Instagram or any other social medias. Women have tons of options. Why? Because when it comes to sex, men are not that picky, right? In general, men are not that picky. I would be happy to settle down with a 5 or 6 out of 10 looks-wise, as long as she had all the other traits to go along with it. Women don't really think like that. Women are much more picky than men are because they have more options. They pick who they date. We just take the best option of who we have. That's the truth. Women pick who they date and we pick the relationships in the long term. So women have the key to sex. We have the key to a relationship. A woman decides when you're going to fuck her, right? But we decide after that, you know what? Is this a girl that I want to take seriously? Or is this a girl that I'm going to fuck a few more times and just leave her back to the streets? That's how men think. So a lot, you guys might be triggered watching me thinking, what do you mean? She's got a better option. And yeah, bro, simply, she might have a better option. So that's why I advocate for not having your woman have social media and being able to go out to places where single people go. And I'll explain that a little bit further on down the line. We're going to go back into that. So another reason to why she might have left you. You don't have a purpose. She doesn't see a future in you. Women are almost like gamblers. With us, we want to know about a woman's past. So when I get with a woman, I want to know how is her past, because that dictates her future, how she's going to move, how submissive she's going to be, how much respect she has for men. And frankly, I'm not going to get with a woman who has a big past because that's going to embarrass me as a man, right? She is a representation of myself. So if I have a hoe as a girlfriend, that makes me look like a weak man. Very simple, right? So just like we care about a woman's past, a woman cares about a man's future. And a lot of times, women, they break up with men because they just don't believe in your future. A lot of times you might be attractive to her. You might be funny. You might be charismatic. But if she doesn't see a future with you and she thinks you're not going to lead her to no greatness, you're not going to be able to provide for the family, she's just going to leave your ass. That's the truth. Women who don't believe in a man's future, they're going to leave your ass. So that could be another reason to why she broke up with you. And because of what I said before, women having so many options, men who are higher tier men are still willing to fuck average women. Remember what I said? Higher tier men, the 1% man, is still willing to fuck, maybe not take serious, but fuck an average woman. So what happens when that happens? The average woman thinks that her dating value is way higher than what is, because she's sitting back and she's like, raw, like I just had an NBA player just slide into my DMs, or I just fucked an NBA player, or I fucked an American footballer, or I fucked some entrepreneur who's got some clout and money. Like whatever it is, when women have casual encounters with men, instead of them understanding what men are like, they're like, oh shit, this is my level now. Like this is like my bare minimum. This is the kind of men that I should be dating. And women always want to level up. Women don't ever want to really go down. They always just want to get better, right? They always want to date better. Hypergamy. You guys can go research that yourselves. So, yeah, simply, guys, women have a deluded... they're delusional when it comes to their value on the dating market, and they simply just overvalue themselves. So that's another reason why she maybe left your ass. And that's why you have to become the best version of yourself, which we're going to go into a little later. And the last things are too comfortable. Like I said to you guys are getting too comfortable. Maybe you're not planning interesting dates. You're not keeping her on her toes. You're not fucking her with the same veracity that you first was. It could be a multiple different reasons. You're not making as much money no more. Maybe you're fatter and out of shape, not as fit as you once was or when you first met her. So, yeah, that's another reason. And another thing is, guys, a lot of times women don't want to break up with men, even though 80% of breakups, yes, 80% of breakups are initiated by women. However, women still don't like to be direct and break up with men. What they'll do is they'll say it in a way where, you know, they'll push you to your limits. They're going to be insufferable. They're not going to do nothing for you. They're not going to cook for you, right? Just like this woman who had to find out the hard way. They're going to simply be a fuckery wife until you turn around and maybe you cause a argument or say something, and then she'll be like, well, you know, if we're not working and you're not happy, then let's just end it, right? And she'll make out that like you kind of ended it. You know, women are great gaslighters, if you want me to be honest with you. So that's how she will break up with you. And, you know, maybe she will be direct, but a lot of times she's going to try and flip it onto you. Okay, so I hope I gave you guys a great breakdown of why women break up with men. If there's any questions, let me know in the chat. I'll get back to each question. So next up we have how to get over a breakup. Okay. So, you know, I've heard bullshit female coaches online saying that breakups affect women way more than it affects men. And, you know, maybe the trauma affects women more than it affects a man. But I would say that a man, it definitely gets heartbroken way more than a woman does. And you guys might be thinking, why? Why do you say that? Well, men love a lot more unconditionally than women. We know women, they're not really going to get with a man who doesn't have a future, doesn't have a job, is a bum, you know, not in physical shape a lot of times. You know, they can. You're going to have to make up with it with other ways if you're out of physical shape. Maybe you've got extra money, or you have status, or, you know, you're simply just more funny and charismatic than the average man. But in general, women are going to have way more options, so it's going to be easier for them to move on. A man, you was unconditional with that woman. You know, you had your boundaries, you had your standards, but really and truly, you really loved her for who she was. And that's going to hurt more. One, because it's more unconditional, like I said. And, you know, it's going to be harder for you to get on the dating market again. That's the truth. Even if you are a 7 out of 10 guy and your ex-girlfriend was a 5 out of 10, say, it's still going to be way easier for her to move on, even if it's just casually. She can at least go out there and fuck a guy who's probably even better looking than you straight away. You though, you're gonna have to get back to the drawing board. You're gonna have to be like, all right, where did I fuck up in that relationship, and where am I gonna improve on in my life, and how am I gonna go out there and get women, and how am I gonna go and get a better woman? How am I gonna make different changes and not make the same mistakes when it comes to picking and vetting your woman? So, like I said to you guys, understand why she left and make sure never to make the same mistake again, right? Write it down if you have to. Write down everything that you need to do to make sure that your relationship is healthy. Next up, we have probably one of the most important, which, all red pill influencers say, and a majority of men agree with this. Get in the gym. The gym is where, you're going to turn that pain into gain. Every time, you're feeling down, you got a bit of hurt, you've just gone through a breakup, go sign up to a gym. If you ain't got the money to go sign up to a gym, which you fucking should, if you don't have money for a gym, you're fucking brokey, and you don't even deserve a fucking girlfriend, if you want me to be completely honest with you. If you can't afford to go gym, you never deserved a girlfriend, and you need to go back to the drawing board and get up your finances, which we're going to also speak about. However, gym. If you can't get in the gym, you got to go on hikes, do your press-ups, sit-ups, calisthenics, go find a bar. But preferably you want to get into a gym, do some weightlifting, do some cardio, figure out what's the weakest part of your body, how to strengthen that up. What kind of body type do you have? Are you slender and tall? Are you short and stocky? And figure out how your body is going to become more attractive. Me, myself, I'm 5'9". I would say I'm more the stocky type, right? So not right now. Right now, I would say I'm closer probably around like 20, 25, probably around 20% body fat. But I understand as someone who's 5'9" and who is stocky, I've really got to walk around at no more than 12, 13% body fat. I have to be ripped in order for me to look taller. Because if I just look like a bulk, then I'm going to look less attractive to females. It is what it is. The same way, if you're like really tall and lanky and you don't have much muscle mass, then you need to become stockier. You need to put on that muscle mass, because right now you look like a twig and your girl might not see you as a protector. Just subconsciously. Women think like just subconsciously she'll look at you and be like, if I got attacked on the street, this guy ain't going to be able to do much. That's why I tell guys out there, even if you are in shape, you do have a great physique, it's always good to go out there and learn some combat fighting, whether it's boxing, any type of mixed martial art, karate, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu. You have to learn at least the bases, the basics of one martial art or combat sports. So become as attractive as possible. What do I mean by that? Well, the truth is a lot of you guys literally aren't in shape, stink, don't groom up properly, got long fucking toenails, yeah, bro. A lot of you guys don't know how to groom up and, look after yourself properly. And what I say is you need to look in the mirror and go from top to bottom, just like a laser, right? It all starts from the hair first. Does your haircut suit your face? Does it suit your face structure and your body type? And you guys might be thinking, well, how do I know this shit, bro? Like, I don't know if I should have long hair or spiky hair or French crop or braids or a skin fade. Well, there's actually AI apps that you guys can go and see, but there's also a lot of guys they do it for a living, right? Their not appearance influence. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a word I'm looking for, but there's men out there who do well with women who are going to be able to tell you that, you know what, bro, you've got a square looking head, so you should really not have a higher fade. You should maybe drop your fade a little bit lower. Or if you've got like a more rounded head like myself, you want to get your fade a little higher so you don't look like you got like a bowling ball head, which if I did have a lower fade, I would look like a bowling ball. So yeah, start with your hair, go onto your skin. Your teeth are very important. Your nostril hairs, your ear hairs, your eyebrows, your beard. Does your beard suit your face? All the way down to your body. Is your body well groomed? Do you trim your armpit hairs? You know, if you are going to keep your body hair, you trim it, you wax your body. If you are ripped, I'd advise waxing. So you got to just go from top to bottom. Your nails, you know, women look at every small detail. And like I said to you guys, we need to become the best version of ourselves. And it just doesn't go for finances. It just doesn't go for learning frame and, you know, acquiring more game. It's everything, guys, everything. And even though women are not physical creatures as much as us, physical is still important to them. So yeah, groom up, everything. Your hygiene is extremely important. Make sure you don't smell. Make sure your toenails, your hand nails are clean. Everything, bro. Like literally, like I said, look in the mirror and just pretend there's a laser going through your whole body and you're like, all right, cool. What's the next thing I need to work on? Okay, and also understanding what arouses women. A lot of times women turn around and they say what they're attracted to, which a lot of times is lies. You know, I want a guy who's kind and giving and, you know, who's gonna hype me up constantly. And a lot of times they're not the type of guys that they go for. What you guys need to realize is not what women say, but what women do. Who do women date? A lot of times women date guys who are arseholes, right? You guys have seen that in probably your experience. Maybe in school you saw it, in college, even in your dating life as an adult. Women tend to go for arseholes. Goes back to that psychology of a man telling a woman in a way where it's not directly telling her, but mentally telling her, like, I'm better than you. Women are sexist way more than us. Sexism benefits women. Women do not want to date equals. There's this whole thing, like this, you know, egalitarianism thing. Yeah, egalitarianism of like women and men thinking that they want to be equally yoked. That's just bullshit. Women don't go for men that they're equal to. Women always go for superior men. A man who can teach her, a man who's stronger than her, taller than her. Even if she can get a man who's better looking than her, she will. A man who's got more finances than her. So guys, stop thinking like Fred in my chat was thinking like, women do not want a man who's equal to them. That is a lie that feminism has pushed, and you know, it's bullshit, bro. It's straight up bullshit. As Khabib will say, number one bullshit. So, understand what arouses women. Dark traits, that's what arouses women. And I don't mean you need to be an arsehole all the time. That's not what women like either. If a woman's not going to see a big heart and see a kind side to you, she's not going to like you either. If you're an arsehole all the time, no. What I mean about being an arsehole is you need to be assertive and have standards and boundaries at the right times as a man. So, you know, you need to be able to tell her sometimes, you know what? I heard you say something before and, you know, there was people around and I didn't want to say something in front of everyone, but there's something you said that I didn't like. And this is why I didn't like it. Communicate with her very assertively and very bluntly and be honest with her. And you'll be surprised how many times women will actually react well to it, because when you've got a woman trying to qualify for you, that's when it works, my G's. It doesn't work the other way around. When you're trying to qualify for a woman, ain't gonna work. She's just gonna see you as, you know, just another simp in her DMs, another simp that's just trying to get her attention. So make sure that women are qualifying for you. Tell women your standards. Tell women your boundaries, yeah? And a lot of times they're gonna work hard to make sure that they meet those boundaries and standards. Make sure you have a purpose in life. A purpose will definitely get you over your breakup. What do you want to do in life? What makes you happy? But not only what makes you happy also has to have potential of bringing you finances and a future career. Like a lot of people, like, you know, here in LA we live, and, you know, you have guys who are like deep in their 30s and they're still saying, nah, bro, I want to be a rapper. I'm going to be a rapper, bro. And, you know, it takes a man like me to turn around to you guys and be like, bruv, like, you're fucking delusional, bro. And, you know, sometimes I don't even say it because I can see that the guy's just too far gone. And that, look, I'm not saying that a guy can't make it in music in his late 30s. But if you're a man and you think you're going to be a rapper or a musician, let's say, and you are in your late 30s, you have to have plan B. You have to have something in the background, something on the side where you're going to make sure that if things don't go well in music, if you don't become a rapper or a musician, you can fall back to your other career that's going to make sure that you're not going to end up a brokey. And a lot of, you know, guys in LA, they're like, no, I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a rapper. They have no plan B. And yeah, bro, it's just disaster. So make sure you have a real purpose that's gonna bring you a real income and a real future. And the last thing to how to get over a breakup is chill with the mandem. Chill with the boys, man. A lot of times your boys will help you get over a breakup. You know, chilling with the boys, having a laugh, doing masculine things like going out there, shooting, playing sports, you know, competing against each other, whether it's poker, chess, whatever it is, swimming, whatever it is. Men always help other men get over breakups. And listen, if you have a true masculine male friend in your life and he's super honest, he's also going to give you great advice on to getting past your breakup and also how to vet women and choosing a better woman going into the future. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch more clips like that, click here. Or if you want to watch the full stream, click here.